You finally decide to set a boundary, and almost immediately, something feels wrong. Not because it is wrong, but because it feels like you're being mean. Let's talk about the moment. It usually starts small. You say something simple like, I can't do that right now, or that doesn't work for me. And instead of feeling clear, you feel uncomfortable. You replay it in your head. Was that too much? Did I sound harsh? Should I explain more? And before you know it, you're undoing the boundary you just set. Let's talk about part 2, the misinterpretation. Most people think this means they did something wrong, like they were too blunt, too cold, or too much. But that's not what's happening. It doesn't feel wrong because it is wrong. It feels wrong because it's unfamiliar. You're not used to setting boundaries. Part 3, where this comes from. If you're used to checking if it's okay to be yourself, then setting a boundary feels like you're breaking another rule. Because at some point you learned that keeping the peace mattered more than being clear. Being liked mattered more than being honest. And managing others mattered more than protecting yourself. So when you stop doing that, your system reads it as a problem. Let's talk about the legal lens. In law, boundaries are actually built into the system. They define what's yours and what isn't. But when those lines were never respected early on, you don't just learn to cross them, you learn to ignore that they exist, how it shows up. So now when you set a boundary, you feel guilty, you feel anxious, like you need to explain it more. You start adding, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Not because you were wrong, but because you're trying to make it comfortable again. Let's talk about the shift. And the shift isn't learning the perfect words. It's learning to tolerate the discomfort that comes after, because that discomfort is the space where your boundary actually holds. You're not being mean. You're being clear in a way that feels unfamiliar. And unfamiliar doesn't mean wrong. This is part 2, because next we're going to talk about how to forgive yourself for staying in patterns like this that you know longer than you want to do. Excuse me. Thank you for tuning in to Recovering Perfectionist Mama, Grace in Progress. That was part 2. We're on to part 3 next, so be sure and stay tuned. Thank you for your support, and thank you for viewing our videos, and I hope you got something out of them, and hopefully you'll come back and see us again soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.